Ну, начнем, наверное. Today scene mineral part of soil. Сегодняшняя тема — минеральная часть почвы. Plan of the lecture. План лекции. 1. Structure of soil composition. Структура почвенного состава. 2. Types of minerals. Это виды минералов. 3. Origin of mechanical elements. Это происхождение механических элементов. The soil of four-phase natural body consists of a soil, liquid, gaseous, and living part. The living part includes bacteria, algae, fungi, earthworms, etc. A solid part of the soil is formed from rocks and retain many of its properties. It consists of various complex origin and mineral substances that include remains of weathered rocks. Plant residues, humus, secondary minerals, вот вы подключаетесь, там отвлекает. Вовремя подключайтесь. Secondary minerals and the neoplasms. The liquid part includes soil moisture and soil solution. These indicators are very variable and fill the free soil spaces. The volume and composition of the liquid part depends on the environmental conditions and the physical properties of the soil. In winter, the soil solution freezes, turning into ice, and in summer, solution freeze, turning in ice, and in summer, due to the warming of the soil, part of it evaporates and passes into the gas state. Soil solution moving on the soil profile dissolves various substances and has a great influence on the formation of its layers. The gaseous part of the soil is a part of the air-filled pores that are free of moisture. The composition of soil air differs from atmospheric. Soil air takes part in all processes occurring in the soil and has a great influence on their development. The living part of the soil is a part representative living organisms that participate in the soil forming process. Bacteria, actinomycetes, algae, protozoa, insects, worms, and root system of plants. In Chernozem soils, the soil part of the soil occupies about 50%, leave 10%, and the rest is occupied by liquid and gaseous parts. In humid soils, the most part is occupied by moisture, and in dry soils by the gas. The main part of the soil with the exception of peat bogs, is minerals. In the humus layer of the hard part of the soil, mineral substance constitutes 90–95%. Depending on the origin and volume of minerals are divided into two groups. The first is the primary minerals. They were formed as a result of weathering of magmatic, metamorphic, and sedimentary rocks. The second groups include secondary minerals. They originate from the primary as a result of their extraction and the change in the process of soil formation. The particle size of the primary minerals is more than 0.001 millimeter. In the soil, their quantity is greater than secondary minerals. The soil composition includes such primary minerals as quartz, feldspar, amphibolus, pyroxenous, and micas. Since they have not the same resistance of destruction, their content in the soil is different. Resistance of destruction in quartz is 40–60%, in feldspar 20%. They are part of large sand in dust particles. Amphibolus, pyroxenous, and micas are not resistant to the destructive process, and therefore their quantity in the soil is small and occurs in small particles. The amount of primary minerals in the soil affects its physical properties and is important as a source of nutrients and secondary minerals. Included the secondary minerals, simple salts, oxides, and hydroxides of mineral, as well as clay minerals. They consist of particles of less than 0.001 millimeter. The simple salts of mineral formed as a result of the destruction of primary minerals and in process of soil formation are calcite, magnesium, dolomite, gypsum, mirabilite, hyalite, phosphorus, nitrates. Oxide and hydroxide minerals include opal, boygnite, hematite, rhodite, hydrocotylite, etc. Clay minerals are formed from primary mineral during their destruction and the synthesis of the product of destruction. Perhaps the biogenic formation as a result of mineralization of organic plants remains. To widely distribute clay minerals are montmorillonite, kaolinite, hydronic fluorite, etc. The mineral particles of the montmorillonite groups are very small. In their composition, colloidal particles reach 60%, and there is large number of small particles less than 0.001 millimeter. The absorbency is 100 milligrams equivalent per 100 grams of soil. The water properties of impermeable water permeability is weak. When moistened soils become sealed and cracks when dry. Contains a large amount of moisture not available to plants. Combining with humic acid form water-insoluble aggregates. Therefore, the humus and mineral of the montmorillonite group of the soil in large quantity improve the water physical properties. Minerals that are part of the kaolinite group, when moistened, do not swell, contain few tiny particles. Absorption capacity 25 milliequivalent per 100 grams of soil. Soils containing minerals of the kaolinite group do not possess high absorption capacity. Water permeability is good. Thickness is low. Mineral belonging to hydronicus or elytes have an absorbing capacity of 45, 50 molecular per 100 grams of soil. The composition contains 6–8% of potassium oxide. It does not swell when moistened. Among the secondary minerals, clay minerals are most common. Their main task is to improve the absorption capacity of the soil and increase the nutrient content. The mineral of the soil is closely connected with the soil-forming rocks and undergoes change during the formation of soil. The mineral part of the soil has a great influence on fertility, humidity, physical properties, the absorptive capacity of the soil, and so on. The granulometric composition of the soil. The soil part of the soil consists of different particles. The totality of these particles is called mechanical elements. According to Kaczynski classification, mechanical elements are divided into the following groups. On the slide, you see many mechanical elements. Classification by Kaczynski. Depending on the origin, the mechanical element can be mineral, organic, and organomineral. They are formed as a result of interaction of fragments of rock, mineral, humic, organic, and mineral substances. Mechanical elements greater 0.01 millimeter are called physical sand, and the less than 0.01 millimeter is called physical clay. Particles larger than 1 millimeter make up the scalation of the soil, and less than 1 millimeter from the rest of the small part of the soil. In the soil composition, mechanical elements can be in different amounts. Their quantitative ratio to each other is called the granulometric composition. To classify the soil according to the granulometric composition, the indices of physical clay and the physical sand are used. Widely used classification, Kaczynski. On the slide, granulometric consists by Kaczynski. Soils with granulometric composition, sandy loam, called the granulometric composition, affect the process of soil formation and soil properties, soil moisture, physical, mechanical, air, thermal properties, absorb capacity. The number of nutrients are closely related with granulometric composition. Soil with a light granulometric composition, in the bright sandy loam, have good water permeability and are easily heated, but they don't hold water well. The absorption capacity is weak and contains little nutrients. In northern Kazakhstan, Chernozem and chestnut soil with a light granulometric composition occupy 3,738,000 hectares, which is 13.8% of the named soils. Most of these soils are found in the Pavlodar region. Heavy loam and clay soils have good connectivity and moisture, are provided with nutrients, but they are difficult to process. Soils of heavy granulometric composition have weak water permeability, poor physical and mechanical properties, high density, thickness, anti-variable air, and the thermal regimes. Soil with an underdeveloped structure with the accumulation of light loam and the medium loam granulometric composition improve of their properties. Well-structured Chernozem's heavy clay and clay accumulate a sufficient amount of moisture and created favorable conditions for the growth and development of plants. The granulometric composition of the soil is acquired from the parent rock and is not subject to change. This must always be taken into account when developing and using the land. Thank you for attention. Так, Сабира Рашитова есть. I could listen. Listen. Demeter Ильясова. Верхан Кацкян. Четверо вас. Окей. У вас присутствовало четверо. Я ответил вас.